What's going on, boys and girls? Welcome back to FEEKI Flips, the most dumbed down real estate channel on all of YouTube, because if I can make money doing this, then so can you. We're back today with another question of the week episode, and this question we get all the time through all sorts of channels, and it's about running numbers when you're analyzing either fix and flip or wholesale deals. And I know that's one of the most challenging parts of this business, especially when you're brand new. And I haven't done a video on this before because I didn't want to make a 30-minute like tutorial style video. That's not really the style of this channel. So we're going to break it up a little bit, and today we'll just focus on one part of the numbers, and that is finding your after repair value or your exit value, and that has to do with comping properties. So let's hop right in, and I'll show you guys exactly how I come up with our exit value when we're first underwriting a new deal or a new lead that's come in through the pipeline. So before I share my screen with you guys and show you exactly how we come up with that ARV, I should mention the wholesale formula that floats around on the internet, which is basically a really dumbed down, easy way to underwrite deals if you don't have like a down to the dollar spreadsheet pro forma that you underwrite in like we do. This formula is ARV times a certain multiplier, usually 0.7 or 0.8. Minus repairs, minus your wholesale fee, gives you your max allowable offer. So the reason why we're starting with ARV in this video is because we need to get that number dialed in first before we tackle your multiplier, because that's market dependent, or I guess deal type dependent, before we tackle the rehab and your wholesale fee and all that stuff, and we're gonna back into our offer that way. So we'll just start with that ARV and get you going on that formula. All right, so I am using a software called PropStream. I don't typically use this software because I have MLS access for our area since I'm a licensed agent, but this is actually a really good tool to use if you don't have MLS access or if you're trying to wholesale in a different market, that type of thing. So even though I can look at all this data on MLS, if I was gonna try to do a deal in Vegas or somewhere out of the Northern Nevada, Reno Sparks area, I would definitely be using this tool. And I think, as far as I know, it's nationwide, so wherever you're watching this from, this should work for you. It's 99 bucks a month. I have an affiliate link down in the description on this video. If you're even halfway serious about wholesaling or flipping, it's a great tool because you can also pull lists to mail or call or text to off of it. So it's definitely worth the 99 bucks a month that it costs. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and comp a condo that we just finished up over in Sparks, which is a city just east of Reno over here. So we're gonna do a condo for this video because condos are typically much easier to comp than a single family house, but really the principles are the same. And then once you get up into like luxury property or custom built houses, they get a lot harder to comp. Just to keep it simple and just explain the basics of finding that ARV, we're gonna do a condo on this one. All I did, I typed in the address here, that's our subject property. So now we're imagining that I just got this lead through the pipeline, the seller's motivated, we're talking to him, and now we're gonna figure out what this thing is worth after it's been flipped and can be resold for on the market. On PropStream over here, we have access to the map. They got a bunch of tools in here that I haven't really even explored. I know this thing's a lot more powerful than I even know about, but we can do Street View right from here, all that stuff, which I didn't want to do. What we're going to do now, over here on the right-hand side, we can look up, they have all the basic information about the property for you already that they pull off the assessor's website: bedroom, bathroom, square footage, year built, the owner information, all that. If we go into details, we can see even more information about ownership and APN, all that type of stuff. We're going to click on comparables right here, and this is going to automatically pull up the comps for you without really doing anything at all. But we do want to get it a little bit more dialed in than it gives you on this automated list. When we're comping a property, what we're looking for, whether it's a condo or a single family, manufactured, anything, until you get into multifamily stuff that's valued differently, but we're always looking for like type property. So we're looking for either exactly the same or very similar square footage, year built, lot size, bedrooms, bathroom, and property type. So when I'm comping a condo, I'm only looking at condos. If I'm comping a single family house, I'm only looking at single family houses because the values can vary a lot. So that's why we want to dial in this comp selection here more than it pulled, because I want to make sure that we're only looking at condos, and I want to make sure that we're only looking in condos in the same complex, because there could be a complex 2 blocks away and the values could differ a lot. just in those 2 blocks or really across the street. In single family neighborhoods and what have you. I'm not going to use the tools that they have up here for doing this example, but this is where if I was comping a single family house in a neighborhood that has a bunch of different floor plans or whatever, we can just filter out square footage. You know, if we're looking for a 1,000 square foot house, we might keep this in here, what they have between 800 and 1,100. But if the neighborhood has, you know, tiny houses and large houses and we're comping a 2,000 square foot house, we can just get rid of everything that we don't want to look at anyway by doing, you know, minimum of 1,600 square feet or something. And then same with bedroom, bathroom, year built. So you can really dial it in before we even get over to the list in on the right hand side over here. So I'm going to blow this map up to show you guys something real quick, and this is why I like looking at the aerial view over here. If you could ignore these little pin drops here, we can actually see in this neighborhood where this condo complex is by looking at the aerial view map. Because if we zoom in a little bit, we can see here like all the roofs look the same on either side of Howard here, and all the grounds look the same, and these are all condos in here. So when I'm comping, even though we're over here on this side of the complex, I'm gonna pull this entire area here because this is all condos built at the same time in the same HOA in the same complex. So this, we're only really looking at results in this neighborhood here. And even right here, this is all single family stuff. So a quick aside, if I was comping, you know, a house that's right in this area, I would exclude this condo complex, and you can kind of see just by the way that the roads are laid out that these were all built at the same time. So if I pulled a big square right here, and we're usually looking for, you know, breaks kind of like this, or you can see that on this side, the lot sizes are a lot smaller, so maybe, you know, the values were probably a bit different here than they are over here. So I would just pull a square in this area, see if we get enough results to get a good value before we start going bigger and bigger. And we can assume that, you know, over here, you can see that the roofs change, the roads change. So that's probably definitely a different neighborhood, and it's on the other side of a major street here. So that's why we're doing a condo. It's really easy to get the same exact bedroom, bathroom square footage. There's only a couple floor plans, and it's really easy to see the neighborhood exactly where we should be comping and nothing else. So before we use this draw feature, I should note also we have public record, MLS, and both in PropStream, which is pretty cool. When I use MLS, I'm only looking at MLS data, and you can see both on here, so off-market and on-market deals. Really, when we're comping, we're trying to get what this thing is going to resell for on market. So probably only the MLS data is even relevant anyway. So I'm going to click that here. And then that just gives us solds or actives that are on the MLS right now or that have sold recently. All right, so now I'm going to use this draw feature right here, this little pencil, and I'm just going to make a square around this neighborhood here. It's a little laggy. Click. So now you can see that I only have this condo complex highlighted. I'm going to click search here. So now I know that these results over here, this is only MLS data and it's only condos that are in this complex. And then if we scroll over, we can see really what floor plans we're looking at. So 940 Woodbury number 2, that's our subject property here. And we can see that this is a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 988 square feet. Again, this is why condos are really easy. You can see we have results with the same exact floor plan, and then there's one in here with a little bit smaller floor plan. So we can take that into consideration, but since we have so many exact matches, there's no need really. And now we can go in here and see kind of what these things are selling for, what the value is going to be when we flip it and go to resell it. So I'm going to look at some of these comps here. So, you know, this is interesting here. This is where you kind of have to go know your market. We actually have the smaller floor plan that's the high comp in here for a 305, but it sold right in the middle of the craziness that was this spring when there was a ton of bidding and buyer wars going on, which is not the case right now. So I'm going to take that value with a grain of salt, and I'm going to dig a little bit further and see what our actual match floor plans sold for. So you can see here, 949 Crestwood number 5, we have a 295 sold price. Same building number 2, we have a 295 sold price, same exact floor plan. So now we can actually click into each of these here and check out photos from the MLS so we can get a great idea of exactly what this thing was. So number 5 here, we can see that this is a really basic condo. Like the flooring's been replaced, but it looks like your original countertops, has carpet that has been cleaned, but you can see that it's been lived in. So there's nothing really special about this unit. Kind of green walls here. This is actually looks a lot worse than what we would look like after we flip this. So again, I'm going to check when this thing was sold. We can go over here in mortgage transaction history, and you can see that this was sold in June, which was also in the craziness. So I'm going to take that with a grain of salt as well. So now if we go back to the list of the comps and we check out this other one, Crestwood Drive number 2, same floor plan, same price that it sold, $295. We're going to check out the condition of this unit. We can click through the photos and you can see that this one is in much better shape, super clean. It's definitely been remodeled or flipped completely in the past, even though it's lived in. But this one actually has really high quality finishes, especially for a condo in this part of town. We have shaker cabs in here, granite countertops. Probably even this one has higher quality finishes than we would put in a condo like this. And again, we can go check when this one sold. So this one sold in August at that $295 price, and that's when we started to see the market slow. So based off of those two comps and knowing what's going on in the market, we can see that one sold in decent shape for $295 right in the heat of the market when there was a ton of buyer bidding going on. And then as the market started to cool, we have a much nicer example that also sold $295. So we can take that into consideration when we're valuing something. So if I was buying this deal right now, I would say that $295 is our ARV, maybe even $290 if we start to see a bit of a slowdown, but I definitely wouldn't be stretching. Now, caveat to that, if I was buying this thing in the spring and before we started to see the market slow and I saw that decent one sell for $295, then I would say, oh, we're definitely going to get $300 for this thing, maybe even $305. But especially when you're starting out or if you're just wholesaling, we're just really trying to get in the range of the right numbers. We don't want to be pitching deals to buyers that you say the ARV is $400,000 and then I pull comps and it's really $315 because you totally overestimated or you were taking comps into consideration that are not great comps. They're not exact matches. They're way bigger. They're in a different neighborhood. They're too far away. All that type of stuff. So we're just trying to get in range here. So remember, we're looking for like type property as far as property type, bedroom, bathroom, square footage, neighborhood. And then we can use this tool PropStream to really see what things have sold for on the MLS. We can go through photos to see the condition. And of course, we're looking for remodeled comps or flipped comps to really see what we're going to sell for, because you'll see some of them on here that have sold for less that are in terrible shape and that was probably bought by an investor or a flipper or something like that. Or even if they went retail, we can assume that we're going to go for a bit higher with a fully remodeled product when we come to market. So that's a quick overview on how to run comps on a property to find the ARV. In the next video, we'll get into how to estimate rehabs, a little bit more complicated than the stuff I just showed you guys, and how to use that multiplier to really determine if it's a deal or not. So make sure to hit subscribe if you're new here. Make sure to smash that like button, help us out with the YouTube algorithm. Remember, I have a link to PropStream in the description of this video, and there's also a link to my Discord in there that you can join for free if you have any questions that you want to ask me directly. I check it every day and interact with you guys in there. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.